Welcome back to the next session in the last module, that is about the pneumatic circuitry control system, designing of pneumatic control system. There in the last class you people have come across some few of the circuitry designs of cascading method and how the circuitry design will be carried out to control the movement of the pneumatic cylinders. In today's session, let us know about few of the things regarding about the electro-pneumatic system. That is nothing but with help of electrical and pneumatic medium, we will going to actuate that entire pneumatic system. That is about the electro-pneumatic system. In that view, people will going to study about the contactors or switches that they will going to use in these kinds of systems, and solenoid. What is in a solenoid, how the solenoid will going to operate. Next about the solenoid operated pilot assisted direction control valve, how the solenoid will going to control that pilot assisted direction control valve. And the last one is about the control circuits for some simple single acting cylinders or double acting cylinder. These are the remaining topics in that module. Now let us know about how this electro-pneumatic control system will going to work in any of the pneumatic applications. When it's come to the different kind of actuation systems, in our daily life we have come across lot of actuation system, right from the first module till the fifth module. You people have seen lot of actuation system, but even in our daily home appliances we are using the switch as one of the actuation system. We are using the push button as an actuation system. We are using different types of mechanical switches and some electrical switches, etc., etc. But basically when it's come to the actuation system, here I have written some of the actuation system diagram. Mechanical switch, I have written the mechanical actuation. We are using different types of gears for the actuation, and some arrangement with different parts, that is nothing but the lead screw arrangement, and about the ratchet and pole mechanisms. Different types of actuations were there. But here to actuate the first symbol, whatever they given in pneumatic control systems, about for mechanical actuation they given the symbol like this, like in a push button. There the spring connected will be there. After pressing the spring, the actuation will going to happen. Means there opening the circuit and closing the circuit will going to happen. If the opening the circuit is nothing but the electrical supply that is passing to the system is get cut off. If it closing the circuit is nothing but the electrical supply is passed to the system. Then manually operated system, manual actuation, we people are using the lever for the manual actuation, actuating the lever for the movement of any type of the cylinder, for retraction and extension of the cylinder we are using the manual type. And pneumatic, this is a symbol we are going to use for the pneumatic actuation. Pneumatic, with the help of the compressed air we are actuating it. When it's come to the hydraulic, we are using this equilateral triangle with the fully blocked triangle as a symbol for hydraulic actuation. And when it's come to the electrical actuation, with the help of electrical power supply we are actuating that particular system. This is the symbol what we are going to use for that electrical actuation. And the last one is about the electro-pneumatic. When it's come to the electro-pneumatic, we are combined both electrical and pneumatic into a single block. There we are written this electro-pneumatic system. Once what happened if you people are using the electro-pneumatic control system is nothing but the electrical power supply will going to actuate any type of the solenoid by switching on or switching off position, due to which the solenoid get actuated. Then that solenoid will going to move the spool of the directional control valve or any other type of valve. By moving that, the whatever the pneumatic compressed air, that is nothing but the compressed air present in it, will going to get supply into the direction control valve. That will going to transfer to the any type of the cylinder or any type of the rotary actuator or linear actuator. Means there some transmission will going to happen or some rotation will going to happen. That is will be the control. In the last classes we have written only the diagrams, but their actuation symbols we have not written the any actuation system. We are just explaining how this the passage, how the transmission of fluid from the tank to the cylinder head, how we are carrying out, how you people are using the different types of valves, that we people have explained. But how the actuation is carried out, we are not explained there. But here, how the actuation, once after the actuation is over, how that the valve will going to work, that is very much important for us. Now, in these topics, we are studying about the electro-pneumatic actuation system. Means with the help of electrical supply and with the help of pneumatic supply, we are actuating any type of the direction control or any type of fluid power system. And next, before getting into the in-depth detail about the actuation system, we should know different types of contactors or switches that are used in our daily life for the actuation process. In that, first one is about the push button type of switch. Means push button means there a button will be there. To that button a spring connected spring connections will be there. Once after actuating that push button, electrical power supply will going to happen. There in push buttons, when it's come to the push button, we have different categories of push button. Here I have written the symbols of those type of push button type of switches. Here we can observe the first diagram. Here there is no contact between the throw and the pole, but it is called as single pole single throw. SPST stands for single pole single throw. NO stands for normally open type of contact. Means this type of symbol indicates that this is normally open switch which have single pole and single throw. This single pole and single throw, it is available here. Because of that, we are calling it as single pole single throw. Next, we will go for the NC type of switch. The NC type of switch is nothing but normally closed switch. This is symbol for normally closed switch, and it is single pole single throw. Only one pole will be there and throws will be there. Because of that, it is single pole single throw. It is one. These are one type of push button type switches when it's come to the normally open and normally closed. Next, I have written one more diagram here. Here you can observe it. Double pole single throw means double poles will be there and single throw will be there. For that, it is called as double pole single throw, normally open or normally closed type of switch. And again here double pole and double throw means two poles will be there, two throws will be there. Because of the double pole double throw, normally open and normally closed type of switch. When it's come to the switches are used one for the purpose of just for the actuation of any type of power supply. That is why we are using the switches. Switches are of two types when it's come to the major classification. One is normally open switch, another one is normally closed switch. That is about the push button type of switches. Next, when it's come to the limit switches. Limit switches are the switches which are used as a mechanical sensor in many of the applications, because limit switch it is an electromechanical device. It's nothing but there once after the actuation of the electrical energy, the mechanical actuation will going to happen inside that, due to which the limit switch will going to perform. Limit switch may be of roller contact type or cam operated type or push button type of limit switch. These limit switch are always placed in the movement or the displacement of the extension of the piston rod from the head to the tail end. There we will going to place the limit switch, but once the piston rod get connected with the limit switch, the movement of the piston rod will be get stopped. Means it will going to cut off the power supply for that particular operations. Means we are going to place a limit switch when it's going to the double acting cylinder at the rod end side for limiting the motion of the displacement of the cylinder. For that purpose, we are using the limit switch. Again, when it's come to the limit switch, here again the limit switch, it is of normally open switch, limit switch of normally closed type of switch. When again if I write this limit switch up to the in the opposite way, that if I write this diagram in the opposite way, it is called as normally open the limit switch with held open, normally open limit switch is held closed. Means if the diagram is written in reverse direction, we will go to call like that. The basic purpose of using limit switch is to stop the displacement of the cylinder. It's also called as the mechanical sensor type of switch. And next about the pressure switch. Pressure switch, it is a switch used for detecting the pressure inside the fluid power system. Means in many of the times, even if we using the pressure relief valve, we don't know what, even if we are controlling the pressure inside the cylinder with the help of pressure relief valve by setting the pressure to the some limited amount, we don't know the in the hose pipes what is the amount of fluid is getting transferred to the cylinder head. To know that, we are using this pressure switch, means it will going to detect the pressure inside the fluid power system. There, this is normally open type of pressure switch, this is normally closed type of pressure switch. Once the pressure is get increased to the set value or decreased to the set value, during that time this pressure switch will going to play a major role when it's come to the any type of application. Next is about the temperature switch. Even though this kind of temperature switch are used to detect the temperature that is present inside the fluid power system, that is nothing but it is used for detecting the temperature inside the fluid power system. If the excess the temperature, it will going to cut off the power supply. If the temperature is very less, it will maintain the system, means temperature switch will going to maintain the system, and also the pressure switch is also used for maintaining the system. Temperature switch, if the symbol is like that, is normally open type of temperature switch. If the symbol is like this is normally closed type of temperature switch. Means different switches are used for the based on the pressure acting or the temperature acting inside the any type of the system. When it's come to the continuous functioning of hydraulic fluid or continuous functioning using of the compressed air inside the power systems, there are a lot of variation in temperature and pressure will going to happen. During that time, these kinds of switches will going to play a major role by cutting off the power supply and switching on the power supply. That is about the temperature and pressure switch. Next is about the relay. Okay, this relay is an electromechanical switch. It is also an electromechanical switch, but its basic function will going to define in totally different manner, because based on electromagnetic induction technique, it will going to work. Means once after supplying the electrical supply to it, the coil get energized by generating the magnetic flux around it. Due to generation of that magnetic field or magnetic flux, the armature will going to get deflected. But these relays are used for the purpose of maintaining the power supply continuously for any of the system. For example, if I consider double acting cylinder, when it's come to the double acting cylinder, once after making contact of that switch, the power supply will going to happen, but there the extension of the cylinder piston will going to happen. But even though while retracting back, again I need to operate this switch or the push button again for retracting back the cylinder to its original position. But with the help of relay, once after actuating the push button or the switch, extension will going to happen, but the power supply cutoff will not going to happen. Again, to come back to its original shape, again even after energizing the switch button or the relay, again the power supply will going to cut off by the relay, due to which the retraction of the cylinder will going to happen. Means instead of operating this switch for more number of times, with using the relay, we can maintain the power supply for the longer duration of time. For example, if the cylinder is lifting the load to certain height, during that time the extension process will go into, once after switching on, the extension is happening, but that energy should get maintained till the process would get complete. During that time, the relay will going to play a major role. It will continuously supplying the power for the extension. Even after for the retraction, again we need to go for switching on the push button. Again, while retracting back to its original position, the relay will going to maintain that this power supply continuously. It means relays are used for amplifying the electrical signals for the longer duration of time, and even this type of relays will go helpful for for the if you want the maximum voltage or the maximum electrical supply or the signals, it will going to amplify it from smaller to the higher, again from the higher to the smaller level. Means it will going to act like an amplifier switch in many of the electro-pneumatic and electro-hydraulic systems. That is about the relays. This is diagram of the relay. You can clearly observe the diagram of the relay. Here written the diagram. Here in this diagram you can clearly observe that these are the contacts that are given to the electrical power supply. That contacts get turned to the coil and make a coil around a rectangular bar or a cylindrical bar present over it, a cylindrical bar present over there. It get winded to that bar, and it is going to act like a ferromagnetic material after because we are using the magnet over here. And then this is the armature present over there. Sorry, this is the one of the wire connection wiper. This is the armature present, and this is the relay contact. Means it will go. The relays are normally open type of switches. Relays are generally normally open type of switches, and this movement will going to happen when it's come to the contact with the armature and the relay contact. Now it is already in the final position in this diagram. Once after giving power supply to this coil, this ferromagnetic material will get deflect inside that coil. Due to how it is getting deflected, because the magnetic flux is get generated over there, due to which the coil will get deflected, and this B ended wire is get connected to the armature first. Means before actuation the armature is get contact with the B end. After actuation, the magnetic flux whatever generated over it will going to deflect the coil, due to which the contact will get released. That contact again go back and make a contact with the relay contact. Means another contact, A contact. Means here the armature movement will going to happening over here. Means once after introduction of magnetic flux, the armature is get connected here. After introduction of magnetic flux, it will make a contact with the relay contact. Means again we need to de-energize this. During that time again this armature make a contact with the B contact. Means before actuation it is the armature is get connected with the B contact. After actuation the armature is get connected with the relay contact. This is how the relay will going to work. Again, if I use this relays in any of the applications, there it will going to operate based on the requirement. Maybe some lot of connections when it's come to the series of connections, when it's come to the controlling many of the operations at a single time, or a single with the help of a single unit, they will go for the making the relay contact by making it the one end as a positive end, other end as a negative end. This is about the relay switch, how it will going to work. Next is about the solenoid. Solenoid is an electromagnetic device which will going to deflect the spool present inside the direction control valve by actuating with the help of an electrical power supply. Means here linear movement or the displacement of the cylinder is happening with the help of an this kind of electromagnetic contacts. Here you have written the solenoid diagram. This is the soft core present inside it. These are the solenoids. These two are solenoids. This is the spool, and this end is for the tank, and this end for the pump, and this for the cylinder. And this type of direction control valve will be spring operated. Means these type of cylinders direction control valves are called as 3/2 direction control. Means 3 ports will be there and 2 positions for there. If I write the symbol for it, it is 3/2 direction control type of valve. Means before actuation the solenoid operated direction control valve will going to look like this. And these solenoids are directly connected to the direction control valves. You can observe here with the help of the plunger get connected to it. Once after actuation of this solenoid, this soft core is making contact with the solenoids. Once making contact with the solenoids, you can observe the position of the spool. The spool position gets shifted to the this block, you can observe here, and it is transferred over here. Means again the flow of oil or water or the compressed air, it's get transferred to the hydraulic system to get extend the cylinder from the pump. Again if I actuate it, again it will come back to its the position, to its original position. Again retraction of the cylinder is possible, because if we are actuating the single acting cylinder, we are using the spring. If we are acting double acting cylinder, again we need to go for the retraction, one more contact is provided here the flow will going to happen. Means change of position is happening from with the help of solenoids. Means here spool movement is happening with the help of the solenoid. But here once after actuation, you can observe here at the another end we have fixed the spring over here. Means this is solenoid operated 3/2 directional control valve with spring return. Means once after actuation, the compressed force whatever present over here, it will going to push the spool back to its original position. Means for only one type of actuation the movement is possible. Again for the reverse actuation, the spring will going to push the spool back to its original position. It means just the solenoid, with the help of solenoid we are controlling the movement of the direction control valve. This is about the working of the solenoid. Next topic is about the solenoid controlled pilot operated direction control valve. When it's come to solenoid operated pilot control direction control valve, you people have already come across what is the purpose of using pilot operated valves. Because in many of the pneumatic applications, these pilot operated valves will going to create a larger force for the extension and retraction of the cylinder. Means even after using some of the different types of direction control valve which get connected with the cylinders, the amount of force required to actuate the cylinder is very less. To overcome these kinds of issues, we are using pilot operated direction control valve. Means for that main valve, we are connecting one more pilot operated valve. Through the actuation of that pilot operated valve, the main valve will get the supply, due to which the cylinder retraction and extension or any type of operations can be performed. Means pilot operated valves are used for the creating of larger force for many of the applications. For that purpose, we are using the pilot operated valves get assisted with the main valve. Here I have written that pilot operated valve and the main valve present over here, which is get connected to the double acting cylinder. This pilot operated valve is about the 3/2 solenoid operated spring return type of valve. Whatever I written over here, it's similar to it. That is get connected with the main valve. To the main valve it is get connected. This main valve is if I by looking at the symbol, I can say that it is 4/2 pilot operated spring return type of direction control valve, because it is operated by pilot operated valve. Because of that 4/2, you can observe the 4 ports present over here and 2 positions present over here. Here I have written 4/2 direction control valve, which is actuated by pilot operated valve with spring return. Here the solenoid will going to actuate this pilot valve. Once after actuation of this pilot valve, the first position will be here. Means from the pump to the A position to here, the power supply will going to happen. Means again from pump to the this and the power supply will going to happen. That will going to create a force among it, due to which the extension of the cylinder will going to happen. Means this power supply is get connected, means over there the extension of the cylinder will going to happen. Again while retracting back, the port B, through the port B, the power supply will get return back to the tank. Means this valve will going to play a major role by giving additional power supply to the main valve, due to which the double acting cylinder extension retraction will going to happen. This is about how this pilot operated solenoid operated pilot control valve will going to play a major role in direction control valve. Means we are using pilot operated just for the purpose of giving some additional force for the main valve to continue the operations, to perform the operations in a well manner. That is why you are using the pilot operated direction control valve. Next is about some of the control circuit for single acting cylinder. Means we already know how these different types of switches and different types of contacts will going to work in many of the applications. But here I explained about with the help of solenoid we are actuating this pole. Again, when it's come to the application wise, how this single acting cylinder will going to work when you make contact that solenoid with the electrical switch or some with push button type of switch, or we are using the many different contactors, how it will going to work. Now here this D stands for the electrical switch, this S stands for the solenoid, and this for the pump, and this for the port A that is get connected to the single acting cylinder, and this is for the tank, and this is spring. Now here you can observe here we are saying that with the help of solenoid we are actuating it. How this solenoid get actuated? This solenoid should get actuated by making contact with different contactors or the switches present over, whether it is a push button or some electrical switch. With the help of it we need to actuate it. Now when it's come to that point of view, here you can observe the diagram. Here I have written normally open type of electrical switch, which have single pole and single throw is there, that is get connected to this solenoid. Okay, that solenoid is get connected to the direction control valve, which is a type of 3x2 type of solenoid valve, 3x2 of direction control valve with a spring return, which is actuated by the solenoid. That solenoid is actuated by the switch. Now one end is get connected to the cylinder port end A. Now you can clearly observe here once after connecting this switch for the continuous supply of the power is nothing but after actuation of this switch it will going to make a contact. After making contact, the power supply will going to transfer to the solenoid. Once the solenoid get actuated, it is an electromagnetic device due to which it will get moved to near to the plunger will get moved near to the solenoids that are present over there by the magnetic flux that get generated over there. You can observe here the software get moved to near to the solenoid, due to which the spool movement will going to happen. Means with the help of electrical supply the solenoid get actuated, due to which the spool movement is happening. During that time the port P will get opened. From the pump, the power supply of the compressed air is transferred to the single acting cylinder, that will get entered. Now the cylinder will get displaced from its original position and is nothing but it is getting extended. But here the cylinder the piston rod end is get connected to the spring. Once after extension of the cylinder should get back to its original position by retracting back. During that time we will going to actuate the switch, means making contact of the switch will going to extend the cylinder, releasing contact with the switch will going to retract the cylinder. Again after releasing this switch the power supply will get cut off, but the cylinder is at the extension position itself. Again it should get retract back to its original position. During that time whatever the compressed force get stored in the piston rod end will going to move the piston back to its original point. Is nothing but while extending of the cylinder the compressed force will get created to the spring, due to which it will get extend back to its original position. During that time the power supply whatever the amount of fluid that get trapped inside the cylinder should come out of the cylinder, while during that time the actuation will going to play a major role. Means switching on position, extension is happening, retracting back, again power supply should get cut off. During that time the spool movement will get changed in the solenoid, due to which this power supply will comes from this end, that is nothing but A end back to the tank. Means here actuation is happening for a single acting cylinder, cylinder getting extended. While retracting back, the direction of the direction control valve is getting changed with the help of the solenoid operated valve. It's nothing but first position extension is happening. Again for the second position retraction is happening with the help of the spring. That is about the simple circuitry that whatever I have written for controlling the extension and retraction of the cylinder with the help of a solenoid and making a switch contact. Even if I apply the same thing for the double acting cylinders, in double acting cylinders, if I write the electrical ladder diagram for it, there one start button should be there, one stop button should be there, and we need to use the coils for those kinds of things, a coil, two coils for it, and one solenoid valve should be get written over there. And while making contact, and even relay contact is very much important for us. By making contact, double acting cylinder get extended, but relay contact is continuously supplying the power for it. Again while retracting back, we will going to use the stop button. While retracting back, that relay contact maintain the same power for the retraction of the double acting cylinder. This is how the circuitry work for the double acting cylinder. This is regarding about the electro-pneumatic system and some of the contactors and switches that are used in our the industrial applications for making the operations or for making the actuation in many of the fluid power system, and about the solenoid, how the solenoid will going to work and how the solenoid pilot operated will going to control the direction control valve, and so small simple explanation about the single acting cylinder by using the solenoid actuation and the electrical actuation. Okay, this completes the module 4 classes. Thank you.